Aquarius workshop, accept what there is. I start with a quote from Pathwork Lecture 72 with the title About the Fear of Loving. And the quote is as follows: "The courage to see what is, rather than what you want, will heighten your intuition, your discrimination, your awareness, and therefore your self-respect. It will eliminate uncertainty so that when the right situation is at hand, you need not fear to love. The courage to accept that which may be inconvenient means acceptance of reality, loss of fear to love, and the cultivation of your intuition in a growing organism." End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 72. Caught in the limited, illusory world of duality, we are constantly fighting against what there is, because we do not realize that we create this life ourselves, and that causes fear, pain, frustration, and disappointment. We make an effort to keep the unwanted away from us, and we toil to achieve what we consider desirable. All this toil is extremely painful and oppressive, but we know nothing other than living in duality. This is all there is for us. How could we even begin to get upset about this limited life in duality? We hardly feel these painful conditions because we do not know what other, better conditions could exist. To change life in duality, we must experience this way of living as so undesirable that we find it worth making that effort. We must also realize that change is possible, that it is possible to accept what there is. We must know that there is another way of living, another state of consciousness, where creation is no longer perceived from a dualistic point of view, but from unity, truth, and love. In this workshop you will explore with a loving curiosity 3 themes of the Pathwork Lectures regarding accepting what there is. The first theme: me and the other are one. In duality we believe in the misconception of me versus the other, out of fear of unification with the other, fear of destruction, fear of losing our individuality, and fear of losing control. In reality, there is one consciousness, for every human being is a cell of the entity humanity. It is precisely by surrendering to and merging with another that we become more independent, mature, and powerful. We need to understand that if we are constructively focused on me and the other, there is no longer a conflict between giving and receiving. The next quote stems from Pathwork Lecture 138. When man is in the unity of being, where there is no either or, where it is me and the other, then no conflict exists between giving and receiving. There can be no conflict of control. If you do not fear giving, you can fully receive. You can never be shortchanged. When you fear giving, you cannot be open to receive. It is impossible. Therefore, you are constantly being shortchanged. End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 138. The second theme: me and life are one. When we truly feel and understand that we are one with life, then we have transcended duality and experienced the reality of being, of vibrating vitality, light and truth. These unique moments seem difficult to achieve, even though they are so close. It seems easier to focus on an unhappy, tense, fighting attitude or on a complaining, resentful attitude full of self-pity. We can understand the truth me and life are one with the help of the exercise in the following quote of Pathwork Lecture 139. As soon as we want to see the connection, we will feel free. And the quote of Pathwork Lectures 139 is as follows: when one ignores the oneness between one's innermost self and one's outer situation, it is always because one runs away from oneself. One does not really and totally want to see oneself as one is, but only in a limited way and with reservations. Ask yourself, do you truly wish to see yourself totally as you are? Do you cultivate such aim by expressing this desire, particularly in moments of discontent and disharmony? Or are you quick with glibly furnishing outer explanations for your disharmony? Or do you perhaps generally admit that it must be in you because you know enough about the truth of these matters, but let it go at that, without the willingness to really look? End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 139. The third and last theme, let be what there is. When we no longer fight against what there is, but accept the current situation, only then will we be able to objectively perceive what there is. Only then can we decide what to do and whether or not we want to make a different choice. Only then do we move relaxed on the flow of life. Accepting what there is brings us into contact with the wisdom and power of the inner core and makes us feel satisfied and fulfilled. The last quote stems from Pathwork Lecture 156. The moment you let be what there is, you will find yourself, which is a treasure, even if what manifests first is distasteful to you. You will find bliss, the universal state of being. This does not need to wait for a life after death. It is available at any minute in any human being's life, right here and right now. But you must be realistic and expect fluctuations. They must be calmly observed. Such a major transition can never be accomplished in one sweep. Speeding up the process to connect with the dissenting, fearful side, the side that resists the liberation, is so much more effective than repressing it and then becoming impatient and putting pressure on oneself. End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 156. I wish you peace and all the best. Thank you.